Huh?
Said somebody was near one.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Try to spread them all out, you know.
Oh, we can turn them down just a tad too. Oh yeah. Yeah, great.
Hang on, let me turn my microphone on.
Wrong thing, that's just an image.
I'm like, I thought he was gonna.
We'll call the meeting to order. This is the City Commission meeting. It's August 17th, 2026 at 5 p.m. If you would, please stand and join me in a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. While I pray today, we'll take a moment of silence. As most of you may or may not have heard, Dr. Carroll, a resident and doctor of our community, passed away today. With deep sadness that we will first take a moment of silence for him and Cindy. Father, we love you. We honor you today. Lord, I thank you for our city. I thank you for the many great citizens we have, and especially for Dr. Carroll. We lift up their family. I just thank you, Father, for giving them strength and just courage to go through this very difficult time in their life. We just lift them up before you and ask your blessings upon them. Lord, and for this meeting today, we thank you for your wisdom and guidance in everything that we do and say. Lord, that every decision will be honorable to you. It'll be the betterment for this city and for our employees and all that work here. We thank you for it. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Madam Clerk, if you do the roll call.
Commissioner Williams.
Here.
Commissioner Edmonds.
Here.
Commissioner Gardner.
Here.
Vice Mayor Heislow.
Here.
Mayor Pittman.
Here.
City Manager Williams.
Here.
And City Attorney Tuck.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. Any changes to the agenda?
No changes, Mayor.
Okay, any comments from the public today on any non-agenda item? If so, you can come to the podium and state your name and address. Yes, sir. Non-agenda item, yes.
I didn't get a card, so I guess I need to ask you about a card or something.
Yes, I believe he's getting it for you. It's in the front.
There's my card.
You can just state your name and address, and then you can fill that out.
My name's Leonard Whitaker. I live at 1434 Grattan. Everybody knows me as Termite around here, so I work with the sheriffs and the city police department with the tow yard. But I came with a complaint about something that I've come to a few times to the city manager, and man, he needs somebody else to help him because he ain't never there. And I've talked to the code enforcement, and I've talked to U.S. Sugar. Concern I have is Davison Road. Davison at the railroad tracks. There's a big open manhole that's been that way for some time, and it's really a concern of mine that a child will fall in that hole. And don't hand me the thing they shouldn't be there because we all know kids are going to be kids. It's at the tracks. It's a big open steel hole. There's a steel lid there. I've been to everybody that I can think of, and I don't know if I'm coming to the right place, but I know that this side of the canal, the city's still correct?
Yes.
It's on this side of the city, or I'm saying it's in the city at the railroad tracks, between the railroad tracks and the ditch. That is a concern that needs to be addressed pretty freaking quickly before one of these kids going from the school back and forth that walks through their horse playing, whatever. Today's near miss is tomorrow's accident.
Right.
We don't need a bunch of vultures flying around to find that there's a child inside that hole.
I appreciate
It
you
is
bringing
very,
it to us.
I'm very harshly on that. I will be back every meeting until that thing's took care of, because I did everything I know to do. I went to city, county, railroad, everybody. I went to Mr. Atkinson, and it's still freaking open.
I'll go look at it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I believe said you were gonna go look at it before.
Well, let me tell
Excuse
you.
my language,
Hey,
but
I'm
he
gonna go.
ain't never been there
I'm
to
gonna
look
go.
at it. But I would please
I'm gonna go.
see to it that it gets done.
There's,
God
Yes.
bless, thank you.
Do you have a cell number?
Sir?
A cell number?
Negative.
How would I get a hold of you?
You don't need to get a hold of me, we just
Well,
need to
you'll
get
know
that
it's
fixed. Sir?
You'll know it's fixed.
I'll know it's fixed because I make more trips around this town than most people do. Ask the officer back there.
appreciate your concern, and
Thank you.
thank you for bringing it to us.
Yep.
Any other public comments? Okay, we have a few presentations today, and it's our honor to do so. The first one is for the 100th birthday of our special guest today, Miss Helen Endicott York. She's sitting on the front row. You do not have to stand up if you do not wish. But we have a proclamation for you. And I would like to read this honoring the 100th birthday of Miss Helen M. Endicott York. Whereas Helen M. Endicott York was born on September 4th, 1926 in Enfield, Illinois. And on September 4th, 2026, celebrates her extraordinary milestone of her 100th birthday. And whereas Helen married Delman Leon, known as Shorty, and together they raised 4 daughters, Karen, Kathy, Christy, and Carol, all with a K. And they built a family whose legacy is now 6 grandchildren, 9 great-grandchildren, and 8 great-great-grandchildren. Can you remember all their names? And whereas her family moved to Clewiston in June of 1962, where Helen joined the First United Methodist Church that same year and remains a faithful member to this day. And whereas Helen shared her time and talents with her church by singing in the choir for 58 years and teaching Sunday school, enriching generations through her faith, service, and example. And whereas through her working life, Helen served as a skilled and trusted bookkeeper for different businesses around town with Reddish, with Bamberg Motors, which many people don't remember Bamberg Motors, but I remember seeing the sign when I was about when you moved here. And for Mr. John Perry, CPA, while also keeping books from her home for many small businesses in the community. Helen contributed generously to civic and community life as a member of the Garden Club and a very active member of the Elks Lodge. Helen began organizing the York Family Reunion 15 years ago and attended faithfully through 2024, the reunion that was held in Illinois, helping to preserve bonds, stories, and traditions of her family. And whereas Helen's century of life reflects devotion to family, faith, work, and community, and her enduring example is worthy of the highest admiration and celebration. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed that the city of Clewiston proudly honors and congratulates Helen M. Endicott York on her 100th birthday and extends our heartfelt wishes for your joyous celebration, surrounded by family, friends, and community whose lives you have touched so deeply. So happy birthday on September 4th, Miss Helen. Yes. We can, yeah, let's go down and get a picture.
Go ahead, yes.
Okay, who's snapping a picture?
I'll never make it.
Which way you going?
Thank you, Mrs. Endicott.
Oh, you're welcome. Yes, ma'am.
She's the only 100-year-old person that I know.
Sharp as ever, too.
I don't know anybody else that's close.
My mom, 98.
So if you make 100, that's what you have to look forward to. One of the things. That's awesome. Okay, now another recognition for our Clewiston Little League Baseball.
So I prepared a speech so that I wouldn't stay up here and ramble for hours because Lord knows I could. Ask Libby. She knows I will. So some prefer to say pieces of a puzzle fitting together to make something work. To me, a puzzle is finished when all the pieces are in place. Between the city and the league, we are not finished, and I would like to say we never will be. I will look at this as an engine, something that is constantly working. The city is the entire engine itself. Jeannie was definitely the key to the ignition to get us cranked up and running. You have the electric crew for lights, scoreboards, and concession, the water crew for public utilities, sprinklers, and concession, the field crew for grounds maintenance and repairs. These are all very valuable components to our engine. The donations of the scoreboards from U.S. Sugar, the City of Clewiston, and the Rotary Club, local businesses sponsoring teams, volunteers from all around just to lend a helping hand where needed, all valuable components to our engine. Everything working together to make this, hands down, the best season in years. Yes, at times, oils need to be changed. A spark plug goes out, and we spit and sputter a little bit, but we still ran. This year, the communication to get these parks fixed quickly and efficiently was remarkable, so we didn't spend too much time spitting and sputtering. It was such a stress reliever to get to the fields and see there were no safety issues. I believe it even carried better attitudes among our coaches and volunteers because they were happy to show up, and instead of stressing about having to fix a hole in a home plate, they could focus on warming up their players. Everything truly does go hand in hand. Another very important component to an engine, something we can't do without, is the fuel. These youth players are our fuel. They're extremely expensive, but they keep us going. When we feel like we're running on E, we look at them, look at the tournaments they've won, look at the development they gained through the season, and look at the smiles on their faces, and we're right back with a full tank. This season, we were able to host district all-star tournaments as well as sectional tournaments, something that hasn't been done in years. But we were able to do it because of everyone's hard work pulling together and working as a team rather than working against each other. We hosted sectionals in which we did not have a team in. Every coach from these other teams made it a point to seek myself or a board member out before leaving to say thank you for the hospitality, and y'all have some really nice fields. Parents commenting on Facebook, saying thank you from these other cities that came. It's nice to see nice, positive comments on Facebook nowadays. Then we had the 10 to 12 All-Star baseball team that was scheduled to play their sectional tournament in Lehigh. They witnessed firsthand coaches having to chalk their own fields, this organization, less than perfect fields like we used to have, and they actually got out there themselves to help them try to fix their fields so that their boys could play, which speaks volumes in itself. I was in St. Cloud with the 8 to 10 All-Star team for their state tournament on a Saturday morning when my phone started ringing, asking if it would be possible to move the tournament to Clewiston due to weather. I called Jeannie. I asked if they could get the field prepped in time. She got on it. Then I was called and said, never mind, they're staying in Lehigh. So I called Jeannie. I said, stand down. And then I got the call, nope, we need a field. We're coming to Clewiston. So I called Jeannie back. She got on it. Somewhere in the midst of that, they needed 2 fields because they were going to use the one over there where it was okay, but then they decided to send them both over here. So she got them both ready. All within about an hour, coaches and parents got to Clewiston, started prepping for company. 2 board members in town dropped what they were doing to get to the ball fields to help. I heard one of them was in a bathing suit and a cover-up just to get there and get everything unlocked and taken care of. Parents got on the phone, got vendors to the fields to make sure people could eat. Parents and coaches stayed afterwards, picking up trash and cleaning up. I logged into Game Changer. For those of y'all that aren't familiar with Game Changer, it's where it's a camera on the fence. You can see what's going on. I didn't even think about how the fields were going to look. I already knew they were going to look good. But when I logged in and I saw the fields on Game Changer, I got goosebumps. They looked that great in that short amount of time when they haven't been completely maintained throughout since our season had ended. Again, when it's all said and done, people are wanting to come back to Clewiston for more tournaments. I cannot express enough how grateful and proud to say that we are Clewiston. This is only the beginning. There are more tournaments that can be hosted here, and as long as the engine keeps running the way it has been, the possibilities are endless. We would like to recognize a few of our very important engine parts today. The work that's went into these fields is not just someone getting paid to do their job. To go to the rec meetings and know what's being done to all these parks in Clewiston on top of major improvements that have been made at the ball fields is unbelievable. The men that work on these fields need to be recognized. They're not just throwing chalk down and filling in a hole. They are doing their work with pride, and it shows. At this time, we would like to recognize Martin Carrillo, Samuel Molina, and Christian Guillermo. If y'all could come up here.
All right. Hey, thank you. Come on up, guys.
Filling them up, aren't you, Bree?
Good job, guys.
Well done. Can we get a picture with you guys?
Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, come back.
Come back, let's get a picture here.
I'm sure he's next.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
She'll probably be coming.
So that is just a small token of our gratitude, and we want you to know that we see you and we thank you. Then we have the 10 to 12 Baseball All-Star District Champions. This group is compiled of your best players from the season in the division to compete against the best players from the other leagues. And these boys dominated the district tournament. But before they come up, Coach Travis Page would like to say a few words.
So I had the pleasure of coaching these, and I ramble, I don't have a speech like her, but she hit on it. I can aggravate a preschool teacher, but so I had the privilege of coaching these kids, right? But before we can coach and put this together, right, Bree hit on it, we've got to have somebody to put it together, right? And there's nobody better than that, than Miss Rojas, right? She gave us everything we needed, dropped everything she was doing, and was just instrumental on not only because the kids have so much availability to play these days, whether it's going out of town, whether it's doing this or doing that. And, you know, some people aren't as fortunate to do that, right? So we gave them something to do here where they don't have to travel. And you've done a good job at that, Bree. And don't say it enough. I'll keep saying it. You're doing a great job, and we appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
So Bree alluded to it a little about the condition of the field. It's awesome showing up, and the grass is mowed, it's chopped, it's raked, right? That puts them in a position to where they feel like they belong. When somebody comes to Clewiston from Sarasota, Naples, Golden Gate, and they see what our kids have now, that is just a good representation of kind of how they feel like, hey, we belong too. And that Coach Rudd and Coach Robbie, I don't see Robbie, but that's all we wanted these kids to feel this year is like, hey, we belong here, right? And we've done that, and they've done good. One person, Coach Rudd, will you stand up? So this is a true definition of a volunteer. None of these kids right here can raise their hand and say that they're related to Coach Rudd. I asked him, you know, to be an outside voice for us, and he stepped up, and that's true volunteerism right there, and I'll be forever grateful to you. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
She's done fantastic with the fields, and like we can't give enough praise to the people behind the scenes for that kind of stuff, and I greatly appreciate that too. Thank you, Jeannie. And it was raining, and we got, you know, on short notice, we had to move. Not just Clewiston, we had to move Clewiston, Sarasota, Fort Myers, who else was there? Golden Gate, right? They all had to come to Clewiston in 30-minute time frame. And they done it. We got John Boy open for the umpires this all happened within minutes. The umpires stayed behind and told me, it's like, hey, you guys got to start hosting more stuff. We want to come to Clewiston. And that's everybody collectively here working together and just being better, right? Y'all are planning for the future today after we're done and I'm done talking. But there's no future unless this is the future, right? And
That's right.
And I'll tell you, Clewiston is in good hands with this group of kids right here. That's all. We're in good hands with this shaping the future. So.
Well, we're in good hands with you guys coaching and the city staff and the guys that keep the fields and the parents. So we're in good hands, and I'm really grateful for that very much.
If I could just recognize 3 more people, lovely Miss Carisha and Beth. She kept us all kind of in check. And Carisha, John Martin's mom, and Beth, Avery Green's mom. So these games don't just happen and stop. Them 3 stayed after, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. We were making sure everything's closed. They were making sure everything's closed, and everything was kosher, and it was. I really appreciated that, and that's the kind of stuff that keeps people coming back. So, on behalf of these 10 and 12-year-olds, we thank the city. We thank everybody supporting us. We felt it. We love it, and we're going to do it again.
That's right.
He did say Robbie. Yes.
So ladies and gentlemen, your 10 to 12 baseball district all-star winners right here.
Move the podium.
JD, can we move the podium? And the coaches?
Oh, you want to scoot in?
Bree, where are you? Everybody together.
All right.
One more.
All right, now everybody put up a number one. Number one. Champions. Yes, all right.
Congratulations. Well done. Thank you.
Can I just leave this?
Great job, guys. You're welcome to stay if you would like. But if not, if anyone would like to exit, now's your chance.
Well, I'm not done. I'm not done.
Oh, you're not done?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry, I'm not done.
We're not done.
Okay, everybody have a seat. We're not done.
So to put things in perspective, last season we had the 8 to 10 baseball district winners, and that's it. This year we had the 10 to 12 baseball all-star district winners, we had the major level TOC winners, and we had the 8 to 10 girls district winners that went to state. We only need to keep increasing those banners because those banners will be hung up at the field. If we keep doing what we're doing, it's only going to get better. In closing, I would like to again express our sincere gratitude to the city and everyone involved for pulling things together to make these things possible. We know the physical aspect is tiring, and we do know it's not cheap for these improvements. The Little League Board will not be requesting to waive their fees for these facilities. We do believe it is essential, and visiting other areas and knowing what other places pay or have to do, we are grateful the fee is what it is. With rising costs in uniforms, new implementations of backgrounds, rising food costs, everything else, it's not like leagues can afford much more, but we feel that $1,000 is a fair price, and we are not waiving. In order to keep these improvements going and these things happening, we feel it is a necessity. Looking at the players in the room are the ones on any sports field they are on, whether it be soccer, football, volleyball, pickleball nowadays, wherever they're at. We never know which of these players will play in high school, college, or professional sports. It is possible that some of these players may only be able to go to college on a sports scholarship. What we do know, and statistics show, is it starts here. We do know for even the players who may not go that far, this is a safe place while they are at practice or at a game. Thank you, everyone, again, for their efforts. Thank you for allowing us to recognize these players here, and thank you for taking the time to listen to all the good things that have happened. And please know there's more to come. We do have an annual board meeting Wednesday evening at 7 at the youth center. It's open to the public. Everybody's welcome to come. We intend on doing more tournaments. Lake Placid is joining our district because, yes, on the field with amongst other leagues in our district, we are competitive. We're there to compete. But behind the scenes, the leagues are coming together to work together to build camaraderie. So the camaraderie between here, LaBelle, Lehigh, and now Lake Placid, it's only going to get better. So thank you guys for everything.
Thank you.
Okay, now? We're good? Okay. No, that was awesome. Thank you. Thank you for...
Great job.
Thank you.
Now I know I can call and yell at. It's you. It's you.
Okay. We have 2 more presentations, and I'm sure they won't be as long as the previous, although I did enjoy it. Next is our Red Speed.
Oh, sorry. Let's have the gun.
Y'all want to swap, it's fine with me.
Who's
but-
got the longest drive?
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
This is Mr. Jake Hagan from Red Speed USA. We've been in dialogue with him over the last couple of months about giving the city a red light camera proposal, and that's what he's here to do, just give the city information and a proposal about the potential of putting red light cameras for red light enforcement here in the city. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Jake. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for the opportunity to be here and to present to you this evening. As Chief mentioned, my name is Jake Hagan. I'm a representative of Red Speed USA. At Red Speed, we partner with municipalities across the state of Florida to implement automated enforcement programs. And as Chief mentioned specifically, I'm here today to discuss a bit about red light camera laws in the state of Florida and our red light camera solution. I do have a short presentation. I won't take up too much of your time, and I can't promise I'll be better than the first 2 presentations. But I just have a short presentation, give an overview on the law and Red Speed's program, then I'm happy to take any questions you may have. I do have a couple printed copies, if you don't mind if I pass out real quick. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank you.
Right, so with that, I'll go ahead and get started. So before I give an overview on the actual relevant laws for red light cameras in the state of Florida, I just wanted to share a couple of statistics. So this is according to the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, or IIHS. So according to them, cities with red light camera programs actually saw a 21% lower rate of fatal red light running crashes compared to similar cities without cameras. At the same time, all types of fatal crashes at signalized intersections were 14% lower where cameras were utilized. Finally, studies have shown that red light cameras at signalized intersections can reduce injury-causing crashes by up to 29% after implementation. This is especially important for cities such as Clewiston, being on a major corridor between the Tampa area and the Miami area on US 27. Sees a lot of out-of-town, a lot of commercial traffic. This is exactly the kind of course, the layout to where increased public safety risk at these signalized intersections can occur. So we'll give a quick overview on Red Speed. We are proud to be the industry leader when it comes to automated enforcement programs. In the state of Florida alone, we have about over 50 contracts with different municipalities, cities, and counties, and that's for our automated school zone speed program and for our red light program. For the school zone in particular, school zone speed program, which is a very similar back office system automated violations, very similar to the red light camera program, we have over 900 school zones live and under contract. And for the red light cameras in particular, we have over 100 intersections or approaches with red light cameras in the state of Florida. We have, yes.
I see that Hendry County is highlighted there. Do you guys work with the county or LaBelle?
We do not work with Hendry County, actually.
Okay.
Specifically in Florida and Georgia, though, we do have roughly 70% of the total market share. That's for the school zone speed and for the red light cameras.
Black, it's still in the black. No,
Oh, I
we're the
assumed,
next one.
okay. No, I assumed the black ones were the ones that you were working with.
Of course.
So the grayed out areas are the ones you work in?
Yes. Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So specifically for red light programs, we do work with some of the largest municipalities operating red light camera programs. That includes Hillsborough County, the city of Sarasota, and the city of Coral Gables. We also work with the Winter Garden Police Department, Miami Springs, and Sunny Isles Beach as well, just to name a few. Specifically for Sarasota and Coral Gables, we have continuously operated red light camera programs with those two cities since 2018. We definitely have an established red light footprint in the state of Florida. So now I'll give a quick overview on the relevant legislation that allows for red light camera programs in the state of Florida. So in particular, we're looking at the Mark Wandel Traffic Safety Act, or Florida Statute 316.0083, which was enacted in 2010. Now, according to this law, local governments or cities are allowed to deploy traffic infraction detectors or red light cameras at signalized intersections. Now, according to the law, a local ordinance is required to be passed authorizing automated red light enforcement through the City Council, and there also is a mandatory 30-day warning period prior to issuing paid violations. Also set at the statewide law, a bit about the actual violations themselves. They set the fine amount at $158 and their civil penalties, so they actually have no effect on insurance or effect on no license points associated with these violations.
Are you
Yes.
required to put a sign up that says red light cameras ahead or something like that?
Yes, there is requirements for signs on every approach for the red light cameras, and we actually install those. We install an individual sign prior to the actual intersection and a sign on the actual pole itself where the actual traffic light is. So that's something that we would take care of at Red Speed. So also included in the Mark Wandel Traffic Safety Act is the breakdown of the actual revenue. So of the $158, $75 of every civil penalty does go back to the city operating the program. So if the city would ever look at potentially operating a red light camera program, the city would retain $75 of each violation, and that would be available to fund public safety initiatives or any other initiatives the city would choose so. But that $75 per ticket would go back to the city. The other $83 split between a couple buckets at the statewide level. $70 goes to the State General Revenue Fund, $10 goes to the Department of Health Administrative Trust Fund, and $3 of every violation goes to the Brain and Spinal Cord Injury Trust Fund. Now, these programs are led by the local municipality, by the city. Oh, yes.
Equals
Mr. Mayor.
158.
Yes.
How do you get paid?
So a Red Speed's model, we actually operate a turnkey program. So we'll actually manage the entire process. We will actually submit all the permit requirements on behalf of the city, handle all the construction, all the installation of the technology, and we will handle all the ongoing maintenance. All violations are ultimately approved by the police department, but on our back office system, we will actually process those violations. After ultimate approval by the police department, we will mail and print the violations, and we'll handle all customer support. Now, our turnkey model comes at no out-of-pocket cost to the city whatsoever. But the way we fund our initial investment and fund the ongoing cost to implement the program is by taking a fixed fee, that's $3,850 per month per camera, and that's taken out of the $75 fund.
Out of our 75 or the state's?
Out of the $75 to the city. So that's how we fund our actual cost of implementing the program. And that actually, when you break down the math, that actually comes down to less than 2 violations per day. So we'll expect to exceed, I have some example safety statistics we ran at a couple intersections in the city of Clewiston. We'll expect to hit that number, but in the event that those violation revenue would ever fall short, we would never build the city's general fund. We absorb that financial risk. We would never have any cost overruns. So turnkey service model, that's a bit about what I mentioned. Everything that Red Speed offers, all at no cost, upfront cost to the municipality whatsoever. So expanding on that a bit, I want to talk a bit about our typical contract structure and the overall risk to the municipality. We pride on our agreements being very pro-municipality, very pro-city. We don't want to impose any undue risk on behalf of the city for implementing these programs. So as I mentioned, there's no out-of-pocket cost. If violation revenue from that $75 bucket actually fails to cover the $38.50 fee for Red Speed, we will never charge any upfront fees or take from the city's general revenue fund. Also included in our contract is termination for convenience. So that means, of course, the city may terminate any agreement with Red Speed at any point without cause or penalty, and city retains full authority to do so at any point, cancel the contract throughout the entire life cycle of the deal. So we've never actually had this happen before for a red light camera program in Florida. However, if that were to be the case, we would simply buy no cancellation fees. We'll just simply come and take our equipment, take out the poles, the cameras, and cease issuing violations. Additionally, just one point I wanted to mention, these programs are legally defendable. In fact, no Florida court has actually invalidated a properly enacted red light camera program since the Mark Wandel Traffic Safety Act took effect in 2010. So there were a couple instances of red light camera programs before 2010 issued under home rule, and those programs were found to be unconstitutional. But since as I mentioned, since that Mark Wandel Traffic Safety Act took effect in 2010, no properly enacted program has ever been found to be unconstitutional.
Real
Yes.
quick, would the poles be placed on DOT right away or City of Clewiston?
So it depends on the road, but we would have to work with our Department of we have to check where we can actually draw power from as well. But that will depend on the DOT, on the actual permitting requirements, where engineering determines we can actually place those poles. So it's kind of a case-by-case basis. It kind of depends on the intersection, I would say. In addition to continuing about the risk, we actually have Weiss Serota, one of the top municipal law firms in the state of Florida. At Red Speed, we have them on retainer and available to defend our clients, our cities, in case in any event that these programs are legally challenged. We believe Weiss Serota is the top municipal law firm in the state of Florida, and they actually successfully defended the 2010 red light camera law at the Florida Supreme Court and prevailed. So this is something we include with our program, all at no cost, no additional cost to the city whatsoever. And as I mentioned, we think that there's definitely no better law firm, especially for red light camera programs, to actually defend the city in case there's any legal challenges. So real quick, I wanted to give a brief overview of the actual safety study results. In conjunction with the Clewiston Police Department, we conducted a one-day traffic safety study at 6 intersections, all on US 27 back in May. This is a summary of the results. These are actual, this is a one-day study of red light violations at 6 intersections at all approaches. In particular, I wanted to highlight US 27 and Burner Road, which saw over 700 red light violations in a single day. Also, a couple other noteworthy intersections, US 27 and Francisco Street and WC Owens Avenue. 2 other high-value or high-trafficked intersections saw over 150 violations just in a single day. You can see the totals there on the bottom. Across 6 intersections in one day, and I believe this is a 12-hour study, we saw almost 1,300 total violations. So next, I wanted to give a brief overview on some of the technology details of our program. So Red Speed, we utilize a fully video-based system to detect and document red light violations. The reason I bring this up is a rather important point because we do not utilize a still image capture system. The reason that's important is because some of our other vendors that utilize a still image capture is they actually essentially have one shot to capture a clear image of that license plate so they can ultimately issue that violation. Because we believe our video-based system is superior, we can actually rewind the footage essentially to get that second, third, fourth look if needed at the license plate in order to obtain those clear characters to actually ultimately issue the violation. This happens quite a bit, of course, especially on busy roads. We have a lot of commercial travel, large 18-wheelers, have a lot of trucks, towing, trailers, a lot of tailgating incidents, distorted license plates, license plate covers, stuff like that. So we've seen in our experience taking over from some other still image competitor systems have seen up to a 25 to 50% increase in prosecutable violations.
Sounds like surveillance.
So I want to address some of that. So our system are not flock cameras or ALPR systems. I know that's a hot topic right now in the news. So with the flock cameras, and those are typically license plate readers, are actually analyzing every license plate that goes on the roadway. Our camera is simply a video-based system with the red light running component, as well as some additional technology for law enforcement to actually analyze potential red light violations. The way our video-based system works is essentially if our cameras and our software detects a vehicle might have actually run the red light, it'll clip the few seconds of that video and send it through our system as a potential violation. Now we'll have 2 humans at our office in our headquarters in Illinois actually manually review every potential violation And if they ultimately find that that driver was blowing the red light or that is a valid violation, then they'll reach out to the DMV to actually obtain the registered owner's information and to issue them a citation. The reason that's different from the flock cameras essentially in the other ALPRs, they're actually categorizing and taking note of basically every license plate that goes on that roadway. And that's not what our system does. So we're only interested in the red light violations.
So I'm going to speak real quickly to what Commissioner Williams brought up. I understand the Clewiston Police Department's, trying to find an answer for the running red lights, with the dump trucks and things like that. I get it. We catch a lot of heat on social media as a municipality for red light runners and things like that. So I can appreciate the attempt, but I would like to bring the commission back to when the Hendry County Sheriff's Department put up the school zone speed cameras and our constituents' outrage over those school zone speed cameras. For that reason alone, I don't think that this is the direction that we should go, personally.
Past we've had experience with this, and I can tell you that the concern of somebody running a straight red light is certainly a concern. I can see here where you in one day got, from all of the cameras, 190. Could have been 190 citations. So at $75 a pop, it does add up. Maybe that's just one day a week. There could be others, but but my concern with any red light program is what I've learned from the past. Right turns is where you have the majority of the violations, and I saw one today. A guy was pulling out to make a left-hand turn, light turned red on him, and he was over the white line, and I know in the past that would have been a violation for him. And that white line on the right turn is a problem, and that's for the majority of them. In one day, 1,286. And I know people stop, it's just where they stop, and I've had that experience in the past. So it is a concern. And so my question to you is does this program could it work just with a straight red light running?
Yes.
Not left turn or not right turn, just straight running a red light on Highway 27?
Yes, absolutely, and that's a great question. We get that a lot. So there actually is a provision within the statewide law that allows, or it says a violation cannot be issued to someone. The technical language is carefully and prudently going through the intersection. Essentially, if they're slow rolling or going quick or slowly through the red light, but to make that right turn on red, you're not allowed to issue a violation. So red light violations are allowed to be issued, but what we've done in the past is actually, because we have our fixed camera and can take the time distance measurement, we can actually detect the speed of the vehicles. So in conjunction with the police department, we could actually set some guardrails regarding red light camera or red light turn violations.
So my question is, does this program work with just straight running the red light on Highway 27? No left turn, no right turn, just a straight running of the red light?
We have operated at least without red light or without right-hand turns in the past. Yes, we've done a program like that.
Yeah, so I was looking and it said on Burner Road, 426 of the 432 westbound violations and 204 out of the 213 eastbound violations were rolling right-hand turns rather than vehicles driving straight through the red light. So, it's a lot of impatient people.
No, and like I said, we could set those guardrails in place and when considering actually implementing any future program. We could not do right turns, or we could set only right turn violations to vehicles going a certain speed through the intersection. So of course, I completely understand if anyone's going at a very slow pace going through the right turn on intersection, there's no need to issue a violation to those vehicles. So that's 100%, we see that we get that concern quite a bit.
And it seems like years ago, they did set a speed limit on the right-hand turn. If you were going over, then you got the ticket. Way back when the other cameras.
From what I remember, if you cross that white line without stopping in front of the white line, you got a ticket. That's where the majority of the tickets came from what I remember. And we did cease the program because it wasn't actually, once the people realized there were red light cameras, they stopped at that red light on Highway 27.
Well, that's going to be his problem.
Yeah.
Do you have a percentage decrease after X number of time that you've seen?
So I don't have that in the presentation themselves, but I can follow up with those statistics. We do expect, of course, safety is our product. We do, of course, expect to see, ideally, a decrease in the violations, and we do account for that as well.
In the contracts to start, there has to be a 3-year contract up front.
That's flexible. So we can work with the city on any given term you guys would like to talk. That is a flexible component of the contract. Well, I can mention real quickly a couple other features of the actual red light cameras themselves beyond just issuing red light violations. Our program, our software actually operates a multi-function safety platform. Our software is built to detect a number of different additional anomalies, traffic safety anomalies, and alert law enforcement beyond just running the red light. 2 in particular I wanted to highlight are our wrong way driver detection and our accident detection capabilities. So the way this works, very simply, if a vehicle is traveling the wrong way on a given road, or if a collision occurs in front of that red light, our software is actually trained to detect that and would immediately notify the police department.
So are these constantly filming?
The video or the red light cameras are 24 hours a day.
Okay.
Yes.
So they're not triggered by any action. They are constantly filming the road. Because I see here you have like the license plate rewind and the archive video. Okay.
Yes, they are
I
live.
want that to be clear, like for the public's consumption.
Yes. And yes, there are live and archive view capabilities of the cameras. The police department can pull up a live view 24 hours a day if they choose to do so. And there's also do archive 30 days of footage for the police department as well. And that's available to assist in additional cases, looking for evidence and additional beyond just red light violations, can assist in building other cases or look at a case for accidents or whatever the case may be. So finally, just wanted to mention briefly, we do offer a number of public education materials in the event of any future program. Red Speed, we're big on public education. We don't want these programs to feel like gotcha programs. So in the past, we've worked with police department and the city council to develop a wide range of different public education materials meant to get the word out there before these programs go live. We've put together FAQ documents able to be uploaded to the website, custom enforcement maps, professionally produced PSA videos, as well as safety-focused posters and statistics, really able to get the help, whatever you guys need to help get the word out there, we have been able to put together at Red Speed. Well, that's all I have for you this evening. Thank you again for your time. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to be here and to discuss Red Speed's solution, and I'm happy to take any additional questions as well.
Anyone have any other questions?
Just if the citation revenue is insufficient, who covers those charges?
So we absorb that risk, and that is stated in our contract. Our program, it will never be it will be 100% no cost to the city, out-of-pocket cost. If the citation revenue does not cover Red Speed's fee, we absorb that financial obligation, never receive a bill from Red Speed, will never be billed from the city's general revenue fund.
Does our police department have any say-so in issuing any violation?
Yes, so actually the ultimate approval or rejection of all violations is with the police department. So that can go back to the red light or the right turn on red violations. That can up to the discretion of law enforcement. The way I can give a quick overview of the way those violations work just for context. The way our cameras will capture a potential violation, if it detects that violator might be going through the red light, and then it'll run through our system at Red Speed. What we'll do next is we'll have 2 humans at our headquarters in Illinois review every potential violation to determine if that was actually a valid red light violation. So we'll have 2 quality control checks on each violation. If that violation is ultimately sound, then we'll send it to the police department for a final approval or rejection. Now, the police department has full discretion to approve and reject any violation for any reason whatsoever. Then if the police department ultimately approves any violations, then it'll come back to us at Red Speed, and we will mail and print those violations, send it to the registered owners of those vehicles. But yes, to answer your question, all violations are ultimately approved or rejected by the police department.
And who follows up if non-payment happens?
So what about how the violations work if it's the violation is required to be issued within 30 days of being received to the registered owner of the vehicle. Then if nothing, so they have 3 options essentially once a potential violator receives that violation. They can pay the violation via mail or on our website or in person. They can request an affidavit if they were not the actual driver behind the wheel, or they can request a hearing. If neither of those three options take place after 30 days, or after 60 days, I apologize, then that violation turns from an NOV to a UTC, a Uniform Traffic Citation. The UTC is then turned over to the clerk of court, and then follow up a second notice will be sent out to the violator, and then they have the opportunity to go before clerk of court, and then they have the option up to the clerk of court and the hearing officer to impose additional fees for the cost and fees of the court.
What's the time frame that your two people view the citation or the traffic violation, and what's the time frame that gets back to our police department?
Within a few days, we review all violations. Of course, for the red light violations, they have to be issued within 30 days. So we try to make that time frame as small as possible. So we say just within a few days, we'll review every violation. Because ultimately, it has to be approved by the police department if the actual violation were to be sent to them, because it has to happen within 30 days.
Other comments, questions? Deputy, you got anything to add?
I did want to say one thing for the record. The DOT cameras that are on 27 are recording 24/7 live. There's no rewind feature, but we have access to those cameras as well, and we can pull up any of the DOT cameras through any of the intersections today and see. That's something that the state done and had existence for quite some time.
How many cameras do we have? Okay.
Do you or the chief want to, I want to get your opinion on this too, because we all know, every day I see a truck run a red light, a semi-truck, not just regular, every day, multiple. So I want to get your guys' opinion on what you think about this.
I think it will do and have the same effect as it did the school board cameras, is my personal opinion. They will be a posture of non-compliance for a bit. Once the locals see it, they will reduce the non-compliance. They'll get into the compliance with the issue. I will tell you, unlike the school zone cameras, this has a greater potential to detect a violation of a non-constituent than the schools. The schools have a greater propensity to detect constituents, where this, I don't know what the average would be, but I would say it's much greater than 50% will be non-constituents, transit traffic coming through there. Because over 23,000 vehicles a day cross 27 through here every day of the week. And out of that number, you can imagine how many are not Clewiston citizens. So you were actually dispersing the cost much greater outside of the city.
No,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, yes, 100%. If I may expand on that, I would imagine it'd be kind of roughly similar numbers to some of the totals we see out of the Sarasota red light program, being on Tamiami Trail, also a lot of out-of-town traffic going through those roads. We regularly see well over 50% of the actual violators themselves are from out of town or non-residents. So I would not be surprised if ultimately that statistic was even higher on the US 27 here in the city of Clewiston.
I know if I'm using a map app to help me find where I'm going, it will actually say red light camera ahead. So it does, you might get warned in more than one spot. Well, I don't know that we'll make a decision tonight, but it's something we can chew on, and we have your information. Is any other commission, you all have any other comments or questions? I'm guessing we do want to think about it. Is that,
We have to.
Just to
We
let you
can't
know,
vote on it.
I get it, but we have 4 accidents today, so this. Couple hours. One in front of McDonald's, there was another one in US 27. Off burner is just constantly.
Those caused by folks running the red lights on 27?
We get it on Francisco and 27.
Well, I greatly appreciate the opportunity to be here and to discuss the program. You have my contact information. If you have any other questions or follow up with anything, please feel free to reach out anytime. So thank you for the
Hey,
opportunity.
Jake, thank you. Where are you driving to tonight?
Tampa, Florida.
Oh, okay.
There's a red light camera in Moray.
Well, you're welcome to exit the building if you would like. Thank you for coming.
You know, my thing, running the red lights, I'd love it for that, because you do see it every day, all day. The 432, I'm probably committed 400 of those, roll, right turn.
Roll to the right.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, some of them are all right turn.
yeah, but I'd love to see the red light, but the other, not so much.
Well, I mean, look at just red line on Highway 27, either going, directions, 190 violations in one
Yep.
day.
Do we know, maybe Tico can answer, I should have asked him, do we know how they compiled those numbers?
So they put the cameras up first thing in the morning. By 4 or 5 o'clock that afternoon, they took it down. It was 12 hours.
You know when they put them up? What month?
May 5th is,
May,
May
sometime in
5th is
May.
on the report. And
Oh, okay. So that would be not really even our peak season. I mean, it's kind of the end of this, past the end, really.
Yeah.
And even if they just do 2, Werner and Francisco will be the best for those cameras.
Okay, any other comments? All right, we will invite Lynn Mila to introduce our next presenter, which I think many people will be interested in.
I think so. Naveed Nawakapart with FMPA, Analytics Vice President. And a power cost adjustment overview. FMPA Member Services developed an analytic model which provides insights on the appropriate level of the PCA. Staff and FMPA meet via monthly update and review. Go over recent data in the model. Naveed is the project manager and is fully familiar with the update process for the tool. Naveed has been with FMPA for 10 years.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for having me. Really appreciate it. And as a lifelong baseball fan, it's really cool to see the Little League crushing it. So thanks for scheduling it so I could see that. That's very cool. I wanted to give you an overview of the power cost adjustment, just a big picture walkthrough of the concept. By all means, if you have any questions as we go through it, feel free to stop me. So what is a power cost adjustment? So when we think about power supply, there are power plants of various kinds that generate energy, and that energy has to be consumed in the moment it's needed, all the way down to the socket. The power cost in this context covers the cost of the power plants and the roadway that power travels before it reaches your community. So that's what we mean by bulk power. The cost associated with bulk power fluctuates over time, and we'll talk about the factors that drive that fluctuation. But the PCA essentially is an aspect of the electric bill that allows the community to ensure that it's covering those costs to the extent that they go up, and you can adjust it down to the extent that those factors decline. So it's a semi-automatic process that covers the cost of power as it travels over those roadways all the way through to your community, your distribution system. This is not our chart, but I really like this figure because it kind of walks you through the whole supply chain of how power is generated and delivered. We have a power plant. That voltage is stepped up. If you think about voltage, that's just the pressure in the pipe. The two key components of power delivery, voltage and frequency. If you think about when you're in a bath taking a shower, you want the water to not be too high of a pressure. That's not going to be good for you to consume, and you want the water to be consistent. You want it to come on and be consistent. So the power plants generate the energy. The transmission system is the high voltage roadway over which that travels. Higher voltage means lower electrical losses. That helps keep costs low. That's why when you see those really large lattices out there, those are the ones that have the lowest electrical losses. And then it comes down and steps down into your community. That's ready for distribution. That's your service area. That's where you're managing the distribution system locally. And then the voltage is stepped down even further, all the way to the wall socket, so that when someone plugs in their computer, that's a safer level of pressure to consume. So bulk power, when we talk about the PCA moving up and down, covers the first two areas, the generation and the transmission. You think about the bill as a stack, and in this figure, I would focus more on the categories and less on the numbers. But if you think about how a typical bill is structured for municipal systems and the investor-owned systems as a whole, there are portions that are covering your cost to run your distribution system, your poles, your wires, your management, your billing system, the great people that serve Clewiston on a daily basis. And then there's a portion that's set aside to cover bulk power costs. And if your bulk power cost is within that portion that's set aside, your PCA could be very low or it could be zero. But as those costs move up and down, that top layer, that power cost adjustment, allows you to ensure that your costs are equivalent to what the costs are that are being incurred. And with that, there's an ability to stabilize the fluctuation in the adjustment depending on where the results end up in a given month. So for example, if I've set aside $70 for my bulk power cost and the bill comes in at $65, I've got a $5 cushion for the next period, and I can manage that and allow the rates to be more stable for customers instead of moving them way up and then moving them way down and vice versa. The key factors that lower or raise the power cost adjustment, for the state of Florida, the number one driver is the price of natural gas. The state of Florida generates 75 to 80% of its energy using natural gas, and natural gas is fairly volatile as a fuel. A few years ago, after the start of the Ukraine war, and you remember there were a lot of high prices for natural gas as a result of that, we instituted a price risk management program. So for 70% of the natural gas that we expect to burn on an annual basis, we de-risk those commodity prices by purchasing that gas in advance. But we're still overall exposed to the prevailing price of natural gas. So that is a volatile issue. The other aspect of it is what I call the weather roulette. So sometimes we have a January that is exceedingly cold, and you get a lot of sales in January. From an average cost standpoint, that's a good thing. It lowers the cost of the overall system because you're spreading those fixed costs over more electrons that you sold. But at the same time, that means customers are paying a higher bill. So it's a balance there. If you have a mild period, we're still using the same fixed cost rates on the bulk power side, and if you sell less energy, then your average costs go up, which then means that your PCA has to move up and down to capture those differences. The third category, transmission cost, roadway for energy, power plant expenses, those are fairly fixed over the course of a year, and typically what we've seen is we actually push a small amount back, and we include that demand credit back into the financial model in a future period. We try to do the best we can to budget those costs as accurately as possible, but there is a little bit of ebb and flow there as well. And in terms of managing that from a customer perspective, and you guys have a great link in the website about conservation, but in terms of behavioral things that can address that, obviously thermostats, setting them a couple degrees higher. You're not perfectly comfortable, but that can mean a lot as far as your air conditioner having to work hard to keep things cool in particular, especially in the last 6 or 8 weeks here in Florida. Making sure you're not leaving lights and fans on in rooms that you're not in. If there are insulation issues or even small cracks in windows and doors that can be addressed, those are key things that can be done without a massive investment in a new high-efficient AC unit or Energy Star appliance that can help go a long way towards managing the bill. Washing clothes, I always recommend people use the delicate and the cold cycle. 95% of the time that does the job really well, and that helps you save energy also. So there are things that you can do as a consumer to help with your consumption as well. This is just a graphic in terms of the volatility that we've dealt with, and this starts back in 2016 when I joined the agency. Natural gas, unfortunately, is a very difficult commodity to forecast. Ever seen a forecast that's correct? Please give me a call. I'd love to take a look at it. The difficulty in that kind of month to month is fairly well manageable, but unfortunately, right up into 21 and 22, as the Ukraine conflict started and we came out of the pandemic, there was a huge supply-demand imbalance. There weren't enough natural gas molecules to go around, not just in the U.S., but internationally. So you saw those huge spikes post-COVID. And then as supply recovered, and the U.S. has become a very robust supplier of natural gas, not just domestically, but we ship liquefied natural gas internationally. That has helped bring the cost of natural gas back down to earth. And unfortunately, this past winter, we had another challenging situation with the winter storms Fern and Gianna. In the winter, people are using natural gas for residential heating at the same time that other people are trying to use natural gas to put in their power plants. And so the cost of delivering the natural gas to its destination, in addition to the demand for natural gas as a whole, was significant over that winter storm period. And even though we were price risk managed for a significant portion of our consumption, and that helped lower the cost to something that was much more manageable, we were still exposed to higher market prices for that. That blue curve there, that's what we call the forward curve. That's an indication of where the market thinks the prices will be here moving forward. It's just an indication of the transactions that are taking place at the time that this was pulled. So if you pull it next month, it might say something else. And if any of you have ever looked at some of our All Requirements Project FMPA rates materials, we show that curve every month because it does change every month. And as you get further out in time, the uncertainty is higher in terms of whether that price is actually going to be realized. And that's a key question analytically as you're looking at, what do I want to do with my PCA? You have a crystal ball, you have a little bit of a horizon as to what it's going to do, but really beyond 12 months, it's far less certain. So you want to try to maintain some stabilization typically so that you can ride out those high periods. And just to wrap up, most communities, the target is to be relatively stable, avoid lots of charge changes in a high degree on a month-to-month basis. Part of that is managing stabilization. So when times are good and times are stable, if there's a little bit that can be put into stabilization, then that offsets bad times later on or high cost times later on by pulling from that stabilization. And you can combine that with the idea of smoothing. So if I am over recovered a little bit, I put that in stabilization. If I'm a little bit under recovered, the question is always, how long am I going to take to claw that back? And so that is a prevailing, never-ending question. It's never a perfect science, but the idea is to try to smooth that out as much as possible so that customers aren't seeing very high increases and then drastic decreases. And inevitably, if you have a really strong winter or a very strong summer, it's as much about the total bill. So the piece that adds to this is the customer's consumption levels are higher. So conservation obviously is an aspect to continue to message around. So with that, I can take any questions.
Okay. Anyone from the audience, if you have a question, some of you may have come because of your power adjustment cost. You're more than welcome to ask a question at this time.
Naveed, I know that FMPA at the conference that we were provided the list of municipalities and the rate for each of the municipalities. And can you just talk a little bit about that, how we compare as a city to the other rates, to other city rates?
Sure. So Clewiston's rate, we look at residential. We tend to focus on the residential per thousand. Obviously, usage varies higher or lower. But your rates right now are highly competitive, below the municipal average and below the IOU average as well by a significant amount. And as a municipal consortium, if you look at the 33 municipals, done very well over the last couple of years to balance reliability and investment in the systems that we operate with the competitiveness of the rates, and you see that in the data. It's a never-ending challenge of balancing the two, but municipals as a whole have done an excellent job of doing that.
Else?
No, I'm good. It's, I wish more people would show up. These keyboard warriors,
Well,
They
but
love to
I'm
crank
going to
up.
defend the people here for just 1 second. They didn't know. I mean, our agenda was online, but this never went to Facebook. We never invited the public to come here.
We can make sure the presentation's on our website.
Yeah,
It
and
is.
the meeting is on the website as well.
It is.
And,
That's the biggest question I get from the citizens is, what is the power cost adjustment?
Well, we have
And
capable
why?
staff also that can explain the very
For sure.
same thing that they've just explained, so.
And I believe you've recently added some FAQ content to the website as well that covers
Yeah.
a lot of this conceptually.
And I can help people. A ceiling fan does not do anything if you're not in the room. Turn them off. And I even have to tell my wife, don't turn the ceiling fan on if you're not, the ceiling fan is for your skin. It doesn't make your house cooler. If you have kids and you're running your dryer, ding, 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 ding. And I feel you, because when I had 3 kids at home, you know, you got to stay on it. We used a laundry line, clothesline. People don't realize, I think a lot of times, what their water heater and dryer adds more or just the same as your air conditioner running. That's 5,000 watts every time you turn your dryer on. And if you have kids and you're running 4 loads a day or more, it's just like running your air conditioner all day long. So their conservation is, I think, a key component, because our actual power costs are lower than FPNL, other IOUs. So education, I think, is very key. And if, like you said, it may not have been advertised well, but I think we can put it on the website. If you still have questions or want to meet, please come and meet with our staff, with Lynn or even Danny or people in our electric department. I know, I pay the same that you pay. And like some people said, you know, we pay less because we're on the commission. No, actually, I think we pay more.
Y'all should see my bill.
There's no, yeah,
They
you
probably
got
charge
kids at
us
home.
more.
And me and Barbara, we don't have kids in our house, so
Yeah.
it's a little different.
Did I remember somebody saying, and I'm not sure where Naveed, about the cost of a AC unit is the majority of the power bill?
I think
The
it
power
depends on the
consumption.
part of the country you're in, but for us, space conditioning is absolutely a huge component of it. You know, lighting obviously matters. End-use appliances, if they're older, tend to consume more energy. Have a pool pump, if that's spinning too much and not efficient, that can be a factor as well. But absolutely, air conditioners are de facto the top draw. So.
And I know at one point we would actually go to people's homes and evaluate. Do we still have that program?
Have the audit program anymore, but we do have a refund that we can give customers if they upgrade their air conditioner and increase their insulation in the attic.
Okay.
We still have that program.
And is that on the website, Linda? They
It
can-
is,
the
but
link?
I can make it more prominent. It's probably good for us to
Yeah.
advertise that more.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
So what about blow-in insulation? The city don't give back rebates for blow-in?
She just said that.
I was talking.
R19 or above, then you'll qualify for the.
But it's on our website, Lynn?
It's on our
Somebody
website.
at the city.
Hmm.
I'll tell her.
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Naveed.
Thank you.
Safe travels back
Appreciate
to
it.
Orlando.
Okay, we are through section 1.
Yeah.
We have 2 discussion items tonight, and the first one is item 5, food trucks. Who wants to kick that off?
Chop, chop, Mr. Cooper.
Speak fast.
This one will be much less controversial. I just want to discuss it. There's been a lot of talk about food trucks recently, and I came in one Saturday and in 4 hours shut down 8 of them, which is a violation. And I shut 4 of them down on one piece of property. I would shut them down and then I would leave and I'd make a loop around town. I'd make my way back over there. Another one would pop up. So right now, our ordinance only allows them on Monday and Tuesday from 11 to 8, 11 in the morning till 8 in the evening. So I just need to know, are we good with where it's at, or would we like to discuss expanding it?
Let's get them on the weekends. Mondays and Tuesdays are the worst days.
And I thought they could go up anytime if they had permission with the,
They cannot. No, ma'am. Nope. They only have 2 days a week that they're allowed to go up.
Chris, what about state law? Didn't it just change? What does state law tell us?
So we discussed that. Council and I discussed that.
So we discussed the preemption in state law, and there really isn't a preemption on when and where they can be. There just can't be an outright ban in the entirety of the municipality, and then you can't require an additional license over and above what the State Department requires for their food safety.
Or extra permits
going
or
to-
inspections.
To disagree that with Commissioner Williams, I don't think that we really need to expand this much, if any, personally. We just had this group of kids sitting here, you know, from Little League Baseball. When's the last time a food truck sponsored a baseball team? When's the last time, oh, did they?
The food trucks were some of the people that got phone calls and showed up because we didn't have a concession stand.
Oh, so they did help with that. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know, because when I'm thinking about, like, when I'm thinking about Beef O'Brady's or Main Street Subs or, you know, some of the Julio's, Tropical, what is it called? Cafe Tropical. I'm thinking about these businesses who year after year, time after time, have consistently given back to our community. They've poured in, not just to, you know, youth sports, but also to the tax roll and, you know, things like that. And I think in this economy that brick and mortar is suffering the most. I think we could all agree with that brick and mortar is having a really hard time staying open. So my question to my fellow commissioners would be, would we rather have food trucks and see another vacant building on Highway 27? Or would we rather keep our brick and mortar restaurants?
I'd rather see them both. I'd rather just not see them on Monday and Tuesday. You know why they're not sponsoring baseball teams? Because they only sell food 2 days a week from 8 to 11. If they were here on the weekends and they could take in more income, then they can disperse.
One of
I
the
don't
reasons
know.
why
I like the-
originally-
restaurants are closed on Monday.
Mondays and Tuesdays, and that's why we did that. I mean, I
Right,
can
that's
see.
why we did that.
And then also that we were gonna do special events, baseball fields, you know, there was recreation department was doing different sponsorship of things, so it wasn't, and those are on Friday
Right,
and
there's like
Saturday
an
nights.
application
And those are
process.
Sundays, I mean, those are special events that the food trucks can all go to. We've had them more at the baseball fields, for events. And I think it's a balance. I think that, you know, to me, Friday nights and Saturday nights are probably our brick and mortar's best nights, Thursday, Friday, maybe. So I don't want to compete with them, but also realize that people like to go to food trucks, get their food and go home, you know, so I don't know if we expand it to one more day, you know,
And that's-
Monday,
I had
Tuesday,
that-
Wednesday.
I
you
had that
know.
discussion with Mr. Cooper too, like, why, you know, when might we start back with the food truck in the park night, you know, that Parks and Rec does, Jeannie? Maybe it's too hot, maybe people, I mean, we were out yesterday afternoon from 5 to 7, it was much too hot to be outside. But, and I don't dislike things like that, and I think that, you know, our small business community can survive. I just, if we have a free-for-all of food trucks, it's going to have a negative impact on the businesses that we've all frequented it and we've all relied on for years, you know.
Paying taxes, like you said.
And they're, right, they are the tax-paying base.
Well, and I think we could even make a provision for if they're local or coming from out of town. I think definitely our local food truck vendors should have preference.
Does the state law say anything about that? That can we limit non-residents food trucks from coming in?
Doesn't say anything about that. There may be some equal protection issues that we'd have to look into on that, but there's nothing in the, it's 509.102 for anybody who wants to, look at it. That's the food truck preemption, and there's nothing about in town versus out of town in that.
Because I think sometimes on Friday nights, if I'm not mistaken, Chris, I mean, you were in on that Friday night, you said it was a Saturday that you.
It was a Saturday.
But sometimes on Friday night, there's people who, from out of town, that are parked in different businesses' parking lots on a Friday night, and that's one of the things that we didn't want to compete with our local restaurants on a Friday night, because that, when we looked at this ordinance originally, I spoke to a lot of the restaurant owners, and they said that Friday night was their busiest night, and they really didn't, they're surviving, and they didn't want any competition on a Friday night or on a Saturday night, but certainly some of them were closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, and that, it's, I think it's a balance. But somebody coming in to set up on a Friday night from out of town here in town, I'm not in favor of that at all.
I'll be the unpopular one. At least one weekend day, whether it's Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, but one Monday and Tuesday, like that's bad business on the food truck
When did
part.
we create this final ordinance?
It was a couple years ago.
It was before I got here.
Came to the meeting.
Yeah.
It looks like 2024.
Yeah, because before we did 2022, so
2024.
24, so.
Was it? I'm seeing 9/17/2025.
I mean, maybe
We might have
even-
modified it something.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
we
was just
could
saying,
even-
I was thinking that we worked on it in 2025.
What if we just even said one weekend a month? I mean, I'm kind of like Jason. People love food trucks, and every time we have them, they usually sell out.
And I know when we have events, they do sell out because people are all gathered together in one place. And I think that's what was referred to about, that we were going to have events in the city park areas and be able to have food trucks and events there. So I think if it's a city event on a weekend, I think that's great, once a month.
I could play devil's advocate for both sides of this argument. There's a community on the east side of Lee County that has food trucks on every single corner, Lehigh Acres, Florida, and it looks horrible. But the day that I came in to shut food trucks down, I had to wait 33 minutes for an empty spot in the line to be able to go up, just to be cordial and not be rude, just to find an opening in the window to go up and talk to them and tell them that they had to pack up. So 33 minutes, and that was constant foot traffic going to their window. So I could play devil's advocate. I don't want to see them pop up everywhere, but at the same time,
I don't want
it
them on
seems
every
like the
corner
residents
either.
like them.
Is there somewhere where you can say, okay, we're only allowing X amount of food trucks, we're only giving out X amount of permits on these days? Once we hit the 5 food trucks or 7
We
food
cannot.
trucks, nobody else is getting one?
So we can't permit the actual food truck. What I was talking to Mr. Cooper about before this, because we were asking about the special event permit. When you offer a special event permit for 2 or more food trucks, you're permitting the actual event, not the food truck. The food truck is what we have to be careful about not over-regulating.
Yeah, the new law that they just passed, you cannot issue a special permit.
We have them every day on the outskirts of Clewiston. And they're packed. The Harlem community's got 3 or 4 every day. South Clewiston has them every day. So they're around us, pretty much surround us. There's actually one that sets up on Ventura pretty much every day. So, I mean, we have them. They're around. I mean, it is what it is. Like you say, you see them in certain communities. If we just hold them accountable and not let them get reckless. I agree. When I was going to Lehigh for my brother, they're everywhere. And they
Everywhere.
look like
Everywhere.
crap. I mean, their areas were not good, they were not kept. But, you know, we go to the mountains, we go to places, they have designated areas, and they're well-known. When you look at, hey, where we're gonna go eat, they're listed. You know, hey, go eat here, it's a great roast beef sandwich or whatever, ribs. I mean, I think it's great for the city. Should we hold them a little bit accountable and dates? But I agree. I think weekends, it's something to do. You got fishermen that come to our town in the winter times. That's what, you know, they look for something different. We stay pretty basic. You know, we're Spanish food, fast food.
But we have businesses that are relying on,
Oh, I agree.
that season of time to keep them afloat through the summer and.
But Randy said it
You
never
know?
affected him at Beeves. It never.
We didn't
My
have the food trucks.
experience owning a food service business, on the nights that the food trucks were out, we were busier because
'Cause
they
it was
didn't
so
want to
long,
wait
yeah.
30 minutes in the line.
Right.
And they wanted air conditioner.
Right. It's a choice. I mean, one of the things I hear is we don't have enough places to eat.
Sure.
That's one of our biggest complaints. So we want a variety of food, and when people come to our community. Again, you got Popeyes, Burger King, you know, burger joints. It was great Culver showed up. It's something different for a while. But I just think it's a variety. It's you know, like I said, when people come to visit, we want something else to eat. Hey, I want a taco, or I want a whatever. They cook ribs. I mean,
Well, I know the Little Next Corner that we have over there is very good. I just ate there for the first time the other day, and it's very nice. People that go to places like that, or Main Street, or Burger King and all that, they do want something different. And the taco truck, or however you say the other names of the food, they want something different. And we have a lot of different cultures here, so. And are they licensed by the state, the food?
They would be required to approve a license and pay a BTR.
Would they need a COI naming the city as an additional insured? Would they need to do that? The truck, or they just need to have their, that's it?
They would assume any liability to their, which our ordinance
That's good.
does not allow them to set up in any right-of-way or in any driveway or block access to a building or a handicap parking spot or.
Yeah, I don't want them to come in and take over. I'm not saying 7 days a week, not even 5 days a week. I mean, 3 days a week is fine. Maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Spread it out, or Monday, Wednesday, Sunday. But at least give them one weekend day where they could come in on the weekends. I don't know. That's my opinion. I'm sure it'll be an unpopular one with the brick and mortars, but
I think it's good to have variety, give people an option. And we can, like you say, designate the area, whether it's the lake parking lot or, it's got to be here, it's these hours, it's on these days, and
yeah, even having a set spot for them to
Yeah.
go to, a food truck center or whatever you want to call it.
I think people liked it when it was in the park.
Me too. It did really
Well, I
good
like
over
it
there
in
by
the
the
park,
tennis
yeah.
courts.
They
It did.
actually have a food truck park in Orlando right over by Old Town,
Yeah, I saw that last
right
time
in the
I was
back.
there.
My wife loves going there every time we go.
see, there you go.
they're everywhere.
They
They're
love it.
Right.
We need one on the golf course.
crews out of the country, and they were
Right.
food trucks everywhere, in every country. And then the fanciest buildings you've seen, a food truck.
Right. Right.
So it's a craze, and people like it, and
And I'll tell you what, a lot of brick and mortars are extending and getting food trucks, and they're having a smaller food truck go out and do their weekending.
So we need to workshop another one that you guys love to talk about so much, the storage on private property. So what if I add this to that workshop, and we'll sit and discuss and try to come up with something that we could put on paper and give Leslie and I the opportunity to draft an ordinance.
well, and are you having a CRA meeting or even our rec board meeting? I want to get opinions from people that live here.
Okay.
Would it be the park better, the lake, switch them up? In summer, well, I'm like you, I'm not going stand in line at a food truck. But
It's hot.
we're fixing to hit our fall season, and
It'd be cool if we had a private property owner that was willing to say, I would host that. And
You know, we had the food trucks in the park, that was very popular. And like Barbara said,
Yeah.
those, you know, people, there was a lot of demand for it on those nights that we did it in the park, that other businesses were also busy. But it wasn't every weekend. It was, you know, it was once a month. It was that night.
all right, so we'll set up a workshop.
Thanks, Chris.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, item 6 is the discussion for an RFP, the terms for employee benefits for a broker and consulting services. So, Ms. Kaylee, are you going to?
I am, yes.
Like
And
this?
I'll make this incredibly quick. There may not be any opinion on this, so, you know, if that's the answer, that's fine. It was brought to my attention that there may be discussions at the budget workshops about wanting to go out for RFP for broker and consulting services for employee benefits. I wouldn't recommend doing it right this minute because open enrollment is coming up, but we do have to rewrite several of our contracts. The crazy folks up in Tallahassee have some new provisions up there that we need to put into all of our contracts by January 1. So it is a good time to get a new contract in place and go out for bid if we would like to. So I wanted to know what everybody's thoughts were and if there were specific terms that you would like to see, more services, fewer services, the compensation. For example, there are several ways we can do it. One of them is paying a broker directly to be that broker and consultant. One is to only contract for their services, and then they get paid by the insurance companies they bring us. So there's all kinds of things we can do, but I wanted to get some feedback, so I'm working with Jen on creating those documents.
I want to make sure we comply with state law. I mean, if it
Yeah,
has to
for
be
sure.
done by that point, then that's probably the right time frame. I think we should, in my opinion, find out what other cities are doing. I mean, you were just at the conference with FLC. You know, if maybe we can reach out to some of those cities and see how they do do they pay them outright, or they just hire somebody to look at all of them?
There are several cities who have gone out for these exact services. I have about 10 examples within the past year, so I'd be happy to distribute those and let everybody look at it and see what they think.
Good, and we can talk about it. We have time, like you said, so.
Yeah, we have plenty of time, plenty of time.
Any other thoughts?
Thanks, Kaylee.
Well, you win the gold star.
Trying.
Okay, we have a consent agenda before us. The activity reports,
That we approve?
Second.
okay, and the approving of the 6 contracts for the Library of Engineers, not contracts, but engineers that turned in. We have a motion by Gardner, second by Hyslop. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next is discussion of the fee waiver for special event applications for AYSO and Cougar football. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak for the waiver?
Hello. So I just wanted to touch a little bit on it. I know with the last meeting it was approved, but it was on the consent agenda, and I know it kind of bypassed a lot of what my Parks and Rec Advisory Board was trying to get out of this. So essentially, we did kind of come up with a plan as to when one is presented again, we'll be sure it is broken up into the 2 applications, because right now everything was together, which is why I think it got approved. But after speaking with my Parks and Rec Board, I was under the understanding also that we were going to have them AYSO, Cougar football, literally come up and present to you why they would want these fees waived, right? And then you guys would approve it based off of whatever that circumstance was. For AYSO, Ms. Rubiano was not here today, but she did reach out because their application submitted after reviewing it with the city clerk. It didn't have their insurance, it didn't have their schedule, so theirs wasn't able to get completed by today's meeting. So she said they would be going forward with payment for those fees for that one. And then I'm going to give you a little history of that, and then case anybody else wants to speak on that.
Okay, so Little League already said they're not asking for a waiver.
Correct.
You just said AYSO, same thing?
That's soccer.
I mean, I don't think it's exuberant, the fee. Do the organizations feel like it's exuberant?
So this has been a topic of our Parks and Rec board meeting, in several meetings. We actually did research in other communities. Every community either has a fee or they have some funding mechanism. And based on our conversations of our board, the intent is not to be punitive. It's not to make the actual leagues feel like they can't afford it. It's to allow them to have skin in the game. And I think you heard earlier from Bree that there are a group of parents in every league I've been involved in that do have skin in the game. On the fundraising side, we've also talked about it shouldn't be a burden to the parents. Parents should not have to pay more. Leagues have the ability to go out and fundraise in the community with companies like U.S. Sugar, Kelly Tractor, Everglades. I mean, every major player in this community contributes in some way, shape, or form. And it's a question of are those board members fundraising enough? And so $1,000 was the amount that we agreed upon. The recommendation was made by our Parks and Rec board. The commission adopted it. And in our last board meeting, we felt that the opting out without even having to make your case in front of the commission goes against the spirit of what you as a commission adopted. So we, as a board, asked for you to reconsider it and maybe have staff look at a process where they can make their case if they need to, but ultimately, we would like the leagues to have skin in the game.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Can I speak on behalf of Cougar Football? Oh, I'm nervous.
Don't worry.
You're fine.
Hi, my name is Lovely. Hush, Matt. My name is Lovely Carter. I am the treasurer. This is my second year as treasurer on Cougar Football. For us, we do have to do a lot of fundraising to get our funds. Our fees are pretty high as far as the league that we're in. To give you an example, that off the back is $1,200. This year, we did have a lot of higher fees that we had to take care of. Being
It was $1,200, I'm sorry?
to join the league that we're in. So we're in a league called Mid Florida.
Okay.
We had to get our helmets reconditioned this year. That cost $7,884. We do fundraise. We do ask for sponsorships. We don't get that much, so majority of our money does come from fundraising, barbecue fundraisers, bake sales, things like that. So for us, it kind of puts us in a harder position because we don't get as much as we wish we could, considering previous history with Cougar Football. So we have been trying to, fix everything with businesses, things like that. So for us, we are asking for the fees to be waived just because we have a lot of things that we have to take care of. Another example, our uniforms this year cost us $4,500. We were able to get everything done considering we did start fundraising kind of early. So.
How many kids do you guys have planned?
So this year.
On average, I guess.
So this year we have 4 age groups. We have Flag, which is 25 kids. Then 8U to 12U holds 30 kids. And then as far as our cheerleaders right now, we are at 17 cheerleaders. Yeah. Yeah, 164 in total. Thank you. I should have known that because I had to send emails yesterday. So,
Are y'all married?
No, he's like a brother to me. That's his wife next to. He's the president.
I was just going to say details, man.
I have a quick
Completely understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for us, we are asking that fees can be waived, and then hopefully, come next year, we are able to take care of things, without asking to be waived.
So let me ask you something. Do you guys charge for admission to the games?
Yes, that is a Mid-Florida requirement.
Okay.
We charge $7 as the entry. We do have to pay the refs. We do have to pay the chain crew. Jaime, correct me if I'm wrong, but
For the referees, per game, per home game, we pay $760. And then to have people help assist us with the chain crew, it is
$25 per game, each person.
So just to touch base on that, per home game, referees is $760, and it's 3 referees. For chain crew is $25 per game. I think it comes up to
I'm looking.
125, 150. It's only 3.
What do you charge per kid to sign up?
For football, for flag, for 6U, which is the ages from 4 to 6, it's $125, and then from ages of 7 to 12, it's $175.
And cheer is $225.
$225, but that comes with their 2 cheer uniforms, their bags, their shoes, their bows, and
And
their
their
pom-poms,
socks.
and their socks.
Yes.
You have food trucks too, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What do you charge those guys?
This year we're charging $200.
200?
Yes, sir.
What do you average a game with food trucks?
Well, this year was the first time we had more. So we had 600.
We had
No, 800.
800.
800 total for food trucks.
How many games?
It's a total of 4 games. So, and this year is actually the most that we've made at a game since I have been in seat. But then again, we still have to wait on our insurance. We're waiting to see because we were at first quoted at insurance of $2,900 for the amount of kids. So yeah, I didn't think things were this expensive, but yeah, they're pretty high.
Do we charge them for the locker room?
No, so we don't have anything in place. Jeannie and I talked about that. We don't have anything in place as far as the locker rooms. We do cover the locker room light bill. Locker room light bill is in our name. We do take care of that every month. And as far as I know of, once we got in seat, it's always been like that previous years.
Well, that's the locker room closest to.
The John Boy.
Yeah,
closest
that's
to
the one that,
U.S. Sugar Mill.
yeah, you guys raised the funds for that and built it.
Oh, okay, that's what we were wondering, because I know Jeannie and I spoke, and she said that it was being discussed that possibly we were gonna have to pay, make a lease and start paying possibly.
Well, you might need a lease because it's on our property, but no, they funded it with help from, of course, businesses, but the coaches literally built it.
Okay.
Back in the day. Way back.
Okay.
'Cause I remember the air conditioning specifically. So I'm not going to say that we shouldn't charge or should, but you guys did build the building and put it up with your own money, so I was just wondering if that's the building you're still using.
Yes, sir.
And how many fields are used? Well, city fields?
Yeah, as far as for practice, or
No, for
what do
the
you
game.
mean?
And practice.
Just one field, which is the soccer fields. So we no longer.
Is the soccer field next to the racquetball room?
Yes.
And then the practice fields are the ones right next to the locker rooms.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Sorry, there's actually we actually.
The racquetball courts.
Yes, we have that one, and then we have the one that's closer to the John Boy, like closer to U.S. Sugar.
Okay.
Yes.
I have a quick question. I mean, for many years, it was always that cane field on Saturdays. What happened?
I could touch base on that one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So the reason why we no longer play there is the high school was charging us $3,500 per season to play there. On top of having to have a minimum of 2 security officers. So once we started doing the math, we were going to lose money instead of making money for the organization.
Yeah, it was
So
not
we're a
feasible.
bargain.
Yeah.
It was not feasible
Yes.
for us at all.
And
this year actually would have been higher because we do have more home games. So when I calculated, last we sat in a meeting, Mr. Greaves was athletic director at the time, and we agreed to $750 per home game, and it would have put us at $4,900 for the season to use the Kane Field. And then with the deputies, and depending on how much crowd we bring in, deputies were $65 an hour per deputy, is what Morgan quoted us at. So, and it's been going great at the soccer fields. We literally have not had any issues. A couple of Tico's officers actually came and sat up there this weekend. This weekend was our first home game, so it went pretty well.
And you're not paying them separately like you did the sheriff's department? This is just,
No, they
this is just because
actually-
of the community that it's our
Yes,
we
actually,
patrol? Okay.
AYSO president, Robriana, she reached out to, because she's our secretary also, she reached out to somebody through Tico, and they
Just the
came and
community
did it
policing
for
on
us
our
for-
part.
for-
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. When we had this on the consent agenda, you didn't ask for a waiver at that time?
Well, we put in the application a few months ago, so yeah.
It was, but you didn't request a waiver for?
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
Okay, you
Yes.
did,
Yes, ma'am.
okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yeah, it was submitted.
Okay.
What'd you pay last year?
No,
500.
Yeah,
For
500
paint.
last
For
year.
paint,
For paint.
correct.
Yes.
Get in the game.
So nervous, look.
And our rec advisory board recommended not waiving, is that what I heard?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It'd be hard to waive one and not the other.
That's the problem we have. And the AYSO doesn't charge, and we're asking them to pay. And, we go to the Little League games and we're not paying the Little League games either, and they're paying. So it was, I don't want to, I would love to help out in any way possible, but I think fair is fair. And I really believe that all three of these great organizations add so much to our community. There's no
Right.
doubt about that. But we also have to cover some of the costs. And I think $1,000 is reasonable for a season, in my opinion.
No, that's
Yeah, that's fine.
understandable. That's understandable.
We wouldn't mind having to pay that.
Any other comments? Agree, disagree? We're good?
I agree, but thank you for all the work that you put in.
Yes, ma'am. It's for, at the end of the day, it's all for the kids.
I want to see the program come back like it was, and you guys in
yeah.
the last 2 years
Yes.
have made a big difference
We're
than
trying.
what happened 4
Yeah.
years ago. So
Absolutely.
you guys have already made the difference.
You have,
and
really.
I hope it continues to keep going the way that it's going.
I appreciate
I
it.
appreciate you especially stepping
Yeah.
up into
Yeah,
the role that
absolutely.
you did. It was a mess.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
thank you.
and that's why I came today, so you could put a face on me. I don't want the past to define our program. It was a mess, and we're cleaning it up, and we're running everything like a business. And I invite y'all,
And
if y'all will have the time to come.
This weekend's the next home
Yes,
game?
ma'am, we have a game
Okay.
this
And
week.
what time do they start? 7 a.m. to
9
4?
a.m.
9 a.m., okay.
9 a.m.
Gotta start early because
Yes.
it's too hot.
Yes, if y'all see how dark I am, it's from this past Saturday. We were there I was there from 8 o'clock in the morning to
We didn't
9 o'clock at
finish-
night cleaning
Yeah,
up.
we finished cleaning up about 9 o'clock at night.
We had a late start last week, but this week it'll be an early start. Hopefully get there fast and get out soon.
And you guys have concessions, it's not just food trucks, there's concessions or?
So no, we do only have the food trucks.
Okay.
Reason being, we don't really have a big board. It's kind of hard to
Okay,
get people
yeah,
to
if you're
join.
doing all the work, if you're doing all the
Yeah,
work.
so it's just
for-
us doing all the work. It's what, 7 of us?
Yes, 7 of us.
of us that are literally taking care of everything. So.
I was recently at an event and they had special people that were in a dunk tank, like the chief of police and
You gave us a good idea.
a commissioner on the end there, and several, maybe county people. That's, I'm just giving you ideas. I won't volunteer, but I'll pay. I'll pay.
People you think would pay to put you in the water?
There are 3 people up here running for office, so
Yeah.
I think they would
We
get
could
in
do
the dunk tank.
We could do that. Absolutely.
Don't worry, I can throw back.
Just recently, people were lined up to
Yes, ma'am.
throw that maybe football
Yeah.
and dunk somebody, so that's just a thought.
Yeah, we usually do stuff like that for usually when high school has homecoming, we try to do a homecoming week for our kids.
Yeah.
And, try to, do activities for the kids as well.
Thank you.
I
Thank
look
y'all.
forward to coming out and
Thank
seeing
you,
you all.
guys.
Thank y'all so much for what
Thank
you're
you,
doing.
guys.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Disregard the last comment.
No, we might need you.
Okay, next, we have a public hearing. It's the second reading of ordinance 2026-04. And let me get to it. We had the first reading, I don't have the date in front of me, but this is the second reading. Chris, do you want to give us just a brief floodplain, like brief meaning 30 seconds?
If mine is
Just so we
faster
know-
than
you heard
hers, do I
brief,
get a
right?
gold star? If mine's faster than hers, do I get a gold star?
You're not making
Double
good
gold
headway
star.
right now. I don't know.
This has been a 7 or 8 month process going through with FEMA, and adopting this ordinance, all it does is ensure that we are complying with their new set of rules.
And all the changes were from FEMA. We didn't do any changes.
We didn't do any
We submitted
changes.
to them, and they're the ones that
We
made the
reviewed
changes.
it in-house, made sure that we agreed with and could comply with everything that they were asking of us, and we can. We've actually already put some procedures in place to make sure that we are compliant. So,
Okay, ordinance 2026-04 by title, an ordinance by the City of Clewiston Commission amending the Chapter 98, Article 5, floodplain regulations to specify elevation of manufactured homes in flood hazard areas, to revise the effective date of the flood insurance study, providing for applicability, severability, and providing for an effective date.
Motion-
We'll declare the
sorry.
public hearing open. If anyone from the audience would like to speak on this ordinance, you're more than welcome. Seeing no one, anyone from the commission? Any comments or questions? Okay, we'll declare the public hearing closed and entertain a motion.
A motion that we approve 2026-04.
Second.
Motion by Hyslop, second by Gardner. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Great job.
All right. And it looks like this might be one of the final. Item 11 is the settling agreement with Brian Sullivan Contracting. This is a resolution 2026-42. Resolution 2026-42. Read it by title.
Keep going. You were almost there. There.
All right, thank you. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston approving the authorization and appropriate city officials to implement the settlement agreement, providing for severability, conflict, and an effective date. Is there any discussion, any comments from the audience? Any comments from the commission, questions? We entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Edmonds,
I'll second it for discussion. I will have some questions for our attorney.
second by Gardner.
Okay. Kaylee, this happened back in 2025, is that?
That's correct.
Can you explain the process and what happened?
Sure. I believe it was March or April that there was a public records request submitted by Brian Sullivan Contracting that had to do with some permit fees. It was complied with, but not fully complied with. There was a summary of documents that was provided, but not fully all the documents. So per Florida statute, you can't institute a circuit court proceeding if you don't get an adequate response to public records. So that was instituted. It didn't really go very far. I spoke with Brian Sullivan's attorney, Steve Ramuni, and he was just looking for compliance, not necessarily anything else. So what this settlement provides is we have to comply with the records request in full by October 15th of 2026. No attorney's fees paid, no amounts paid, and it's the end of it.
Okay, and the reason for the delay, did y'all figure that, did we find out why there was a delay in providing all the documents they requested?
So we use a program called Next Request when it comes to our public records request. So we were able to look at what the response looked like, and I can't see where there was an explanation for a delay. It looked like there may have been a miscommunication on what full compliance actually was.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, a motion and a second has been issued. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, public records policies. Ms. Kaylee?
Sure. So what you have before you is a very standard public records policy. It was brought to our attention that there may be some internal miscommunication between departments about how to handle public records. So what you have is a very general policy that follows Florida statute like we were doing already. But you also have some staff guidance in there about how to actually internally handle public records. And then you also have the police department's specific public records policy. They have some different requirements when it comes to body camera footage, investigations, things like that. So we have a supplemental policy in there that the police department will use as well.
Okay, any questions?
And your recommendation is to approve this?
It is.
It's just for public consumption, anything that we do as a city, anything this commission does, anything that happens in any of our city buildings is public knowledge. It's transparent. You can ask for a public record of anything.
I think it goes even past that, does it not? I mean,
Yeah.
like anyone who draws a city paycheck and is communicating about city business.
We just took a class on this
Yeah.
this last week. Any advisory board, any documents, any discussion is all public record. Anyone can come, anyone can ask a question. There's nothing private when it comes to the public government. So in some cases, like this case, I believe the inquirer asked for records over multiple years and very detailed, specific records. Now, it may take some time, and the statute does give us reasonable time to fill those requests, and we do charge you so much per page. And I think we can even charge for labor up to a certain point. So if you ask for something like that, don't expect it the next day, because it's not going to happen. However, you can request it, and you will get it. In this case, it was just a miscommunication, and the ball was dropped, and this person didn't get the detail they wanted, but now they're going to get it. And so it's no loss to the city, but with this policy, I think it will help all of us too.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may, just for the public's consumption, the city has always been compliant with public records. If anybody has requested anything, we've always provided it. This is more for internally how we are supposed to handle them in between departments. So nothing new here. We always have to comply with Florida statute, but this is just for our city staff and making sure that we all know what's going on.
I'll make a motion to approve City of Clewiston Public Records Policy as presented and Clewiston Police Department Public Records Policy as presented.
Second.
Okay, motion by Gardner, second by Highslope. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Staff comments tonight, manager?
Yes, we had another successful event, boxing.
Oh,
Turned
yeah.
out pretty good.
I
got
heard so much good stuff about it.
So congratulations, and we got something else happening, going on in our community that people can't say we don't. I can't wait for the next one. I think you're going to try Labor Day weekend. So I watched some of the video, and I thought, man, hopefully these guys look like they know what they're doing. They were great. I mean, it looked really well, done well. And we got a lot of good feedback about staff and auditorium and good stuff. And the League of Cities, as you know, we were there, went well, and picked up a lot of stuff and some good things, and met more people again, and commissioners, and talked about communities. Another well, networking went well. So that's it for me.
All right, City Attorney?
Nothing to report.
Okay, we'll start down Commissioner Williams.
No, I honestly, I think I'm good. No comment.
Well, if
No
you think of
comment.
something.
Been a long afternoon, huh?
Ready to go home, right?
Man, it's already 7.
I'm good.
Okay. Commissioner Gardner?
Okay, I just want to say, you know, I know that there was 3 different leagues here tonight, or 3 different organizations. We had rec board members, we had families here, and I think that, to me, it's great. I mean, every year is different when you volunteer and you help out with coaching and with children, but we can see the success of what's been going on. Jeannie, a great shout out to you for your dedication and hard work and organization to get all these, you know, organizations successful and bringing in different events. And I think it's just continues to strengthen us as a community. So kudos to you and to your staff for what you're doing. We appreciate the rec board and their dedication to seeing these programs. And one of the things I remember, you know, years ago we talked about it, especially when we get to the budget time. It's difficult. It's always difficult when we look at budget, especially in light of the fact that we don't know what will happen in November and then years to come. But creating wonderful memories for the future, for the young generation is what it's been about. And some years it's been more difficult than others, but we're in a good place. So I'm thankful for that.
Vice Mayor?
I'm good, thank you.
No, I'm good. I think I echo that with our youth. I think it's, I think all of us can remember grew up here playing Cougar football or Little League or whatever it was, and there was always parents and adults that stepped in and they got off work and they coached the teams, and just seeing what's happening with the Cougars especially, coming back, making a good comeback. The only thing I want to mention is the overlay project is now complete, but there's still a lot of cleanup to be done. I just want to make sure that cleanup is done before they get their retainage money, because once they get it, there will be no cleanup done by them. We're going to have to do it. Also, I went by the motorsports down there. I see they moved the office container, but the site is a pigsty, so I would like our code enforcement, just giving you heads up, you may want to send them by because the grass is way high on the backside. But other than that, I think things are going very well, and entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.